Hi, everybody. Welcome in. We're talking today about relationships because you know today is Dr. Sid's Day on the Loretta McNary Show, and he is here to give us some tips and suggestions and hopefully some wisdom on how the lonely, and if that's you, how can you get through these holidays without feeling like you are alone or lonely? Because there is definitely a difference. Everybody welcome my personal coach and relationship expert, Dr. Sid.
Hello, hello, hello.
Okay, so I want to just jump right in there because I've had people ask me this because, you know, people think because I'm single, I'm lonely. I'm not lonely. I'm never, hardly ever alone. Right. So I can't really answer that question, but I will ask you, what can the lonely do at Christmas or the holidays, you know, at Hanukkah, whatever you're celebrating?
Well, of course, the understanding is 'tis the season to be jolly. So the expectation is for everyone to have this wonderful demeanor, full of life, full of joy. But unfortunately, that's not true for a lot of people. So how do we battle loneliness? How do we deal with these things? Well, first of all, I think we need to understand the difference between being lonely and being alone.
Right.
Sometimes we confuse the two. You can be in a crowded room and still feel lonely. Loneliness is something that is inward. Alone, of course, speaks to your surroundings and different things that are around you outwardly. But there are many people, because of a loss of a loved one, maybe because of some own psychological issues in which they're dealing with, or maybe some unfortunate circumstances which they've encountered. Maybe this year wasn't a great year for them. And so they battle with that while everyone is having fun and drinking and laughing and enjoying the holiday season. They're struggling because they're thinking back on how bad or how terrible things were, and they are coloring their surroundings with those feelings. And so it's important for us to understand the difference between that. Now, when you're dealing with loneliness, you've got to be careful not to create some type of vice or some type of habit that will be destructive to you.
Something that fills the void, like alcohol, drugs, sex, over shopping, overeating, those kind of things. Okay.
Now here's the caveat with that, or shall I say the paradox with that. You definitely want to fill the void because when you're dealing with loneliness, there's an emptiness there, and you're going to fill it with something. But we definitely want to make sure we don't fill it with, as you just stated, those unhealthy vices. Now, it's easy to gravitate towards sex and drugs and those types of things because they give you that immediate gratification, although temporary.
Very temporary.
Very temporary. But they give you some type of gratification. Overeating. Eating a lot of sweets, something that will release those endorphins in you, make you feel good for the moment. But what's bad about that is the crash that follows, or the things that are detrimental that you're now adding to your life. I would suggest fill your life with, quote, vices that are healthy for you.
Such as?
Such as working out.
Working out, okay.
Such as doing something positive for someone. When you're feeling depressed or lonely about yourself, be a blessing to somebody else. Find somebody that you can do a nice gesture to. You don't even have to know them. Go to Starbucks and buy the next person in line, purchase their whatever they're getting, their coffee or whatever. Get that and just watch their expression. Get joy out of bringing joy to other people.
Because joy begets joy.
That's it.
I feel like I'm in kindergarten now because I'm taking in every word that you're saying is making total sense. And I've done that. I love doing that. But I think people get lost and they want to take credit for it. But it's the joy lasts longer if you don't say, hey, I did, it was me. You know, just don't tell people, just pay it forward. You know,
now,
and that's
I was
a good
just about to say, you're one of the people that I know that's full of joy and that's always doing something for other people. I'm sure you can tell them a lot more about that.
Oh, hush, you are too. But see, that's just, I say, as my grandmother was, it's my nature to be a giver and to, if somebody's sad and I'm around them and I know, do something. And as a Christian, I feel like I'm obligated to do it. And not in a forceful or I'm going to feel bad about it because, the Bible said a cheerful giver.
Yes.
Not somebody who's given because of obligation or you scared if you don't, something bad going to happen to you. You give because it makes you feel good and it definitely blesses the receiver. So
exactly.
Yeah, and I just find a way.
Yeah,
It's easy.
It really is.
Because we have so many resources. Like a friend of mine, she's having her 60th birthday party, and she wasn't going to celebrate because she had, and this was 2 weeks out. I'm like, you got to 60? And you're like really vibrant still and have all this life ahead of you. You're not going to celebrate that milestone. So I helped her, get a place, get a DJ, and she knew some friends who cater. So we're throwing a 60th birthday bash for her.
I'm invited, right?
You are definitely invited, of course. Because you're part of the show. Wherever we go, you got to go.
Let's go.
You guys are going to start seeing him more. I promise you. You're going to start seeing him more and more of us doing things together in the community and in your city too, wherever you may be watching it. Dr. Sid is going to travel too. He has a car. He'll travel.
Yes, I will travel.
Okay, so let's get back to, so what about people who put on, is it healthy to put the facade on? Because sometimes they say, fake it till you make it.
Okay.
But what about when it comes to being lonely? Because that can lead to other major depressions, being chronically depressed or lonely or all these other ills that come with it. So should you fake it or should you find a way to make yourself feel the joy of happiness?
Right. Well, that concept, fake it till you make it, it has its negative connotations, but I'm a firm believer and proponent of if you sow the seed, you'll get the harvest. There are some things that you've got to enact that's separate from your feelings. In other words, I might not feel it. My emotions might not be where it needs to be at this particular point, but the act itself will benefit me in the long run if I just keep doing it. And it's when our emotions aren't there, and that's where I run into a lot of issues with people. They think somehow that life is dictated by my emotional state, how I feel. Many times we don't feel like going to work, but we go.
But we go, don't we?
Because we place a value on the activity that's greater than how we feel. And the person that's dealing with loneliness, they've got to identify what is this area that I am placing these emotional feelings in and just really holding it high in my life and focusing on that versus all of the other positive things. I encourage people, instead of making a list of what's wrong and what's right, no, just make a list of the things that's right in your life. Don't worry about the wrong. The wrong stuff will work itself out over time. But make a list of what's right. Like you said, the 60-year-old. You have activity of your limbs. I mean, you have energy. You're still here. You're alive. Those are things that we need to focus on and be thankful for. But before we can really do that, we have to identify what's that area that's causing me to feel lonely. What is that area? And you can get help doing that. That's something that I do. That's something that other professionals can help you with. But once you identify that, then we can put things in place that will help you get out of that area and focus on these other things and enjoy the season. I'm
glad you said that because that's one reason why I'm so glad you agreed to be my co-host on these relationship shows, because people think personal coaches are just to help you set your next goal professionally. They don't know the value of having a personal coach who can have personal, y'all, with your personal stuff. And maybe it's not to lose any weight. Maybe it's not to, start making a six-figure income. Maybe it's just, how do I get to know who I am? How do I stop feeling or being driven by my emotions every single day and over every single thing? And how do I prepare for my Boaz? Because everybody, especially Christians, we looking for that Boaz, and I guess what are you guys looking for in a virtuous woman? I was about to say I'm not looking for no,
Boaz.
I know you're not. You will be somebody's Boaz.
Well, hey, all right.
One day you'll be somebody's Boaz.
Yes, I'm looking forward to it.
So because you're single.
Yes.
And so why are you not lonely? I know you're a pastor and you have this church, but that's different. So do you get lonely sometimes? Even though you know 500 people at any moment's notice, you got their phone number, you can call and say, hey, y'all want to hang out? And everybody's running to hang out with Dr. Sid, Pastor Malone. So what do you do? Do you ever get lonely? I guess my real question is, do you ever get lonely?
Yes, I do. I think everybody at one point in time in their life battle with loneliness. But again, loneliness is a condition that's inward in nature. What I've learned to do, I've learned to identify those areas in my life that's contributing to this feeling. And that's what it is, the feeling. And with some measures of control, I allow myself to feel that. If I'm feeling as if I want to be with someone, that's a healthy, natural feeling. I feel it. But again, with some elements of control, I don't allow that feeling to take me past what I have already established as my values, as my morals, as my breaking points. Now, I have great heart friends that I can call and I can say, hey, look, I'm feeling lonely. I need for us to go out. Let's have a good time. I have that in my life.
Are these male or female friends that you call? Both. Okay.
Both. Okay. And that's another interesting topic. You can surround yourself with people of the opposite sex and not want sex.
Yeah.
You know, you can just really feed off of each other and really have a holistic friendship. And that will help you during the season.
Okay, I'm going to take an exit right now because I want to know, when you call your lady friends that are platonic friends, they already know that, right? You guys have established that, and they know that, ooh, maybe he's changed his mind. Maybe we're going to go and become, you know, friends. Right. So do you ever have that to happen? If so, how do you manage it? Because I'll use me. I'll have guys who ask me out. We'll go out one good time. All of a sudden, you know, I'm in this category, and we just went out one time. So instead of just saying I don't want them for my friend, which is what I normally do, just, you know, break off all contact like they're the enemy or a terrorist or something. So how do you manage that when we just went out one time? We're not girlfriend and boyfriend. We're not dating. We're not courting. We just went out one time without giving up the whole person, that whole friendship. Right. Now, this is going to sound real cute, but this is literally how I manage it. I manage it with my conversation and with my listening. I manage it by being very upfront, very verbal, very communicative in my conversations with them. I let them know this is where I am. This is what I want. This is what I desire. And at the same time, I listen, because simply because just because I'm there and that's what I want, it doesn't necessarily mean that that's what the other person wants. Right. And it's unfair to put them in a place where you are, and that's not where they are. And so I make it quite clear. If they can't handle it, then it's clear to me I've got to eliminate that relationship. So you're listening so you can make sure they're not putting you in the boo or the boyfriend category. They're not taking it out of it. Exactly. I hear what you're saying. That's one of the reasons you're listening, you know. But I know that's like at the top. I want to make sure that, you know, we're on the same page with that. And I think, because, you know, there's this song, and I was trying to remember all the words on the way. What do the lonely do at Christmas time? What do they do? What do they do? What do they do? And, you know, like you said, 'tis the season to be jolly, but shouldn't you be jolly all year long? So why do we put so much emphasis on I got to be extra jolly at the holiday season, or I got to be all corded up with somebody, I got to have a boyfriend to take to all the Thanksgiving and the Christmas meals and the Hanukkah and, you know, Kwanzaa celebrations? So why do people put that so much emphasis this time of year? That's the pressure of the season. That's the pressure that you get from commercials, you get from movies, you get from your friends. The fireplace is supposed to be lit. The knitted sweater is supposed to be on. You know, it's snow outside. Everyone is snuggled up. And here you are. I have no one. Okay, we're going to take a break because I want to really talk about that. I really want to know, why do we all of a sudden got to rush and get somebody, you know, hey, Dr. Sid, can you come over here for Thanksgiving, take me there? You know, we friends, and I understand, but my family just tired of me coming solo. So he's going to answer that for us when we come right back, everybody.
Life's this hard, graduating can be even harder. But you can help Ativa and the students in your community make it through by visiting boostup.org. This hard, graduating can be even harder, but you can help David and the students in your community make it through by visiting boostup.org.
G Morning Sunshine. Wakey, wakey. Text me.
I think it might be one of the monitors.
Are your parents home later? We can hang. LUV, love you. JK. Holla back. Holla back. Holla back. Are you with your friends? That's lame. We're in a huge fight right now. XO. What'd you dream about? Something I did. Are you on your way to the mall? Lonely. Nude pics. Send me some. Text me.
All right, I gave Dr. Sid this really intense question about one of his friends calling him to just, you know, go with me to my parents or my in-laws or cousins' Thanksgiving dinner, because I'm tired of going by myself. Everybody's starting to question, you know, am I not? So I need you to go with me. Would you go?
It depends.
Okay.
It depends on, first of all, the friendship in which we have. And then also it depends upon the reason. Now, I know that they said that, but I would have to ask a little more questions, simply because I don't want something to be betrayed as portrayed.